Hey guys, today we are going to make this quick and easy hummingbird feeder. It is gorgeous and it will look great in any garden. The basic items that we need for this project is some galvanized wire. You can pick this up at any hardware store really inexpensively. Just a bottle. You can pick up a bottle at the Dollar Tree, Hobby Lobby, Michael's, everywhere that has just decorative bottles, or you could even use a wine bottle if you wanted, but that would make for a pretty large hummingbird feeder. This is a bottle stopper that actually has the hummingbird feeder in the bottom of it, and it fits right inside the bottle, and it will stay as it's hung upside down. It's fairly snug in there. And some decorations, and what I have are just some metal pieces that I pulled out of my stash. I have some butterflies, and I have some brass and metal pieces, just different flowers and so forth that I'm going to be using. So the first thing you want to do is make sure that your bottle is clean inside and out, because you will be putting hummingbird food in here. You don't want the nectar to have dust or germs in it or anything that could harm the hummingbirds. So be sure you get this cleaned out, rinsed out really well when you're done. The second thing we need to do is take some of the galvanized wire, and we are going to wrap it around the bottle to secure the bottle and make a hanger at the top for it. I'm just going to pull out some wire. All right, now around the bottom, we're going to wrap the wire around a couple times, and we want to be sure we get it nice and snug. And then when we come around here, we want to be able to bend up and secure the wire using some pliers. There we go. And we're going to bring the wire up, wrap it around our bottle. It's kind of hard to do. The wire wants to keep moving around. Okay, and then I'm going to bring it back down again. Alright, and I want to bring it through this loop I made. Now how well you can see this, but I'm trying to push it through there. Right, and then I'm going to bend that around as well. Okay, and I just want to make sure I have all those wires bent in so it doesn't hurt the hummingbirds. Alright, now this is what we have, and it doesn't look like anything much so far, and there's no way to hang it. We will be attaching a hanger at the top, so it will actually have something to hang on to. But for now, we're going to go ahead and start attaching our decorations. Now you can use rhinestones, you can use anything you want to make it as bright as you want. I kind of like the look of the metal on the pink glass that I'm using, so I'm just going to leave it pretty much like this. I may add a little bit of an embellishment, but probably not much. All right, and the first thing I want to do is go ahead and glue on the butterfly. And for this, of course, we're going to be using E6000 because hot glue could get soft and melt in the heat of the summer, as well as become brittle in the winter. going to come in, put some on the back of the butterfly, just get it glued on there. Okay, and with these, again, with the E6000, you have to let it set a little while. This isn't a quick project. It doesn't set up nearly as quickly as hot glue does. But if you want it to stay and continue to be embellished and adorned, you want to be sure you're using the right products for it. Now, I'm going to pull out some of my little flowers that I have here. And I'm kind of liking these. These kind of look like they would be on a viney plant. I'm not sure what they're supposed to be. I think they're supposed to be dogwood maybe. I don't know. But we're going to glue a couple of these on, and then we're going to let everything dry. Now that the E6000 has had a chance to dry and secure the flowers and the butterfly on really well, I'm just going to do a couple things to finish this up. The first one is to go ahead and work with this bottom wire to give it a neater wrap around the bottom. And I may go back and secure it at the back with a little bit more E6000 to hold that into place as well. As it is, it doesn't look terrible, but I would like it to have a neater, tighter wrap around the bottom here. The second thing that I'm going to do is take another length of wire and attach it on either side and loop it over the top so that we can hang it. So the first thing I'm going to do is just unwrap a length of my wire. Right, and there we have the wire that we're going to use to hang, and again, all we have to do is loop it through a part of the wire here, and I am simply going to then take my pliers and just make a loop, pulling this around. Right, and there, as you can see, you have your hanging loop. It doesn't have to be exact on either side. It will hold this upright. The weight itself will do it. The other thing you can do if you want is to tighten the loop around the top and twist it a couple times so it will hold more in the center for you. But again, you don't have to do this. It's just something you can do if you want to. And this will hang just fine, very securely. Now, the last thing that I want to do is I want to add a couple little crystals onto the center of the flowers, just to add a little bit of pop. Not too much. I don't want anything garish. It is a bright pink bottle. And so I'm going to use some E6000 just to adhere the crystals real quick. Now, what I'm going to be using for the centers is I just pulled out some of my little, I don't know if you call it a citron color quite, but as you can see, they're just little crystals, and they're flat back crystals, rhinestones, whatever you want to call them. They don't have a bright color. As I said, it's kind of a citron color, so I'm just going to glue them here and here, and they are the cheap ones that you can pick up at pretty much any craft store. You probably have some at even Dollar Tree. I haven't looked in a while. I know they have some of the stick-on crystals, and if you use the stick-on crystals from Dollar Tree, you still want to use E6000 to adhere them because they will fall off if you don't. But I'm not using Swarovski. I'm not using anything expensive at all in this. I just wanted to add a little bit of pop. Now for the hummingbird nectar, you can either buy it any place that sells bird seed, bird food. They should have little boxes or jars even of hummingbird nectar, and you can make it that way. or you can make it yourself on the stove. It only takes sugar and water to make hummingbird food. A lot of times you'll see the red color. Do not use any hummingbird nectar that has red coloring in it. It is very bad for the hummingbirds. You don't need it. The red does not actually attract them in the nectar whatsoever, and it could even go so far as to kill a hummingbird if they get too much of the red dye. To make your hummingbird food, it is simply a mixture of 4 parts water to 1 part sugar. So here I'm just using 1 cup of water and a 1/4 cup of sugar. And what we're going to do now is just liquefy the sugar in the water to create our syrup, or our nectar, whatever you'd like to call it. So I just need to let this heat up, stirring it slowly until it comes to a boil, and then we just need to let it cool before we put it into our hummingbird feeder. Here the bubbles are starting to form on the bottom. Again, I'm sitting at 3.5 minutes since I started making this. It does not take long at all. So my guess is start to finish, it's 5 minutes out of your day to make your own hummingbird nectar. And quite honestly, if you buy the powdered mix, it's going to take you that long anyway, and you are paying so much more for basically to make sugar water by buying the hummingbird nectar than you are just by making your own. It's ridiculous. Again, never add the red food coloring. You could make your hummingbirds very sick, or worst case scenario, kill them. So you absolutely never want that red food coloring. Okay, so here we are. We're at a full boil. I am going to go ahead, turn this off, and remove it from the heat to let it cool. And once it is cooled to room temperature, then that is the point that we can go ahead and pour it into our hummingbird feeder. All we have to do to fill the hummingbird feeder is simply pull out the stopper and add back in our cooled hummingbird nectar. And just push the stopper back in. And the silicone will actually hold it in place. And as you can see, the water starts to come down, the nectar, and then the hummingbirds will be able to drink out of the end. If you liked this video, please be sure to hit that like button as well as share it with friends who may also enjoy it. If you like my channel, hit that subscribe button, and when the notification bell pops up, be sure you hit that as well so you never miss a video. And, as always, have a great day and stay crafty.